Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikya Maulispurat Taranayaka Shekharam Smitamukhim Apina Makshuruham Panibhyam Alipurna Ratna Chashakam Raktotpalam Bibhratim Saumyam Ratnagadasta Raktacharanam Dhyayet Param Ambikam. Welcome to all for this session on Lalitopakhyanam. In the previous chapters, we have seen how Madana, with a great pride, approached the Stanmashrama, approached Mahesha with the pride that he will be capable of disturbing anybody, even the Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, or even Indra or anybody. So, because of that reason, he could easily disturb the senses of Shiva. However, as he enters the Stanmashrama, he saw Shiva immersed deep in his meditation, deep in his Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and by looking at him, he started trembling with the fear about his capability of his own strength. When Manmada beheld Hara in this deep state of samadhi, he quailed at the thought of disturbing him. He cursed himself for his erstwhile pride and for ever having agreed to Indra's proposal. He now realized his sheer impotency before the mighty Maheshwara because Vasanta has already changed the atmosphere around. That has disturbed all the yogis. Even just a change in atmosphere had disturbed the yogis and tapasvis and even all the living beings, including even the Pramathaganas. However, Shiva continued to remain undisturbed by all the changes that is happening in the surroundings. So naturally, by seeing his deep state of samadhi, even Manmata started quailing with the thought of disturbing him. He cursed himself for his erstwhile pride and forever having agreed to the Indra's proposal. He now realized his sheer impotency before the mighty Maheshwara. He could scarce remain standing, for his entire frame trembled like an aspen leaf. His courage fled from him, his knees buckled under him. Out of his unnerved hands fell his famed flowery bow and arrows to the ground. With a dazed mind, giddy with the problem of what next, he fainted where he stood and sank to the floor. His spouse Rathi Devi, who had been already crushed under the weight of forebodings, now saw with a failing heart the humbled state of her erstwhile proud and haughty husband and wept helplessly because Rati Devi has already signaled him that it may not be easy for him to face the mighty Maheshwara. Yet Madana, with a great pride, approached Mahesha. So now Rati, knowing what will going to happen in future, she is now started crying helplessly. In her heart, Rati prayed that her husband may be saved from this dire calamity and hoped that this mighty being before her would not annihilate her foolhardy spouse. Even should her husband now desist from his attempt, she feared how they could ever escape from this dazzling presence unobserved and unpunished, because they have already entered the serene atmosphere of the Stanmashrama. So even if they disturb Maheshwara, they will be punished. And even if they try to escape from there, they may not be able to do it unobserved or they're trespassing into that Stanmashrama. Alternatively, weeping and sighing, she dreaded the opening of Hara's third eye. That's what she was most feared of. Her shapely breast, ornamented with tear-stained glistening pearls, heaved again and again in despair, fascinated by the dread in her own mind and by the inscrutable effulgence before her. She could not take her eyes off the Shambhu's face, and in that state she remained transfixed like a statue, bereft of all thought and movement. Soon Madana regained his senses, but following his wife's bewildered gaze, he was also rendered sans chetana and chesta, and became transfixed to the spot with a premonition of disaster befalling at least motion of his limbs. Thus, we have seen how Madana, who came with lot of pride, though Rati was already filled with many doubts, he was wondering how they will be able to escape from there. Neither they will be able to escape, nor they will be able to succeed in their task. While Madana, by looking at the state of Maheshwara, he fell down, he fainted himself, and then when he got up, he also started looking at Mahesha's face with a doubt about the capability of his task. Let us see what will now going to happen, as both Madana and Rati have already lost the confidence of disturbing Shiva. However, for the benefit of the three worlds, they are supposed to go ahead with the task that was assigned to them by Indra, because only by the union of Shiva and Parvati the world will be benefited. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puravasini, Twamaham Prarthye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Goodbye.